IE Stakeholders presents Interview with the Members. And now, with your host, Dr. Michelle Lewis.
Hey everybody, it's Dr. Michelle Lewis here with the IE Stakeholders Association, and today we're going to be interviewing yet again one of our members, James. Mr. James does it all. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Mr. James is our second member that joined us when our organization first opened, and we're so happy he's with us because he's been such an asset. But not a lot of people know what Mr. James Does It All is all about. So we're going to talk to him. From what I understand, there's two organizations that you run. And we're going to talk about the very first one that joined us, which is IncludEducation. And then we're going to talk about one that you just started up, Valley Wrestling Connections.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So tell me, how long have you been doing IncludEducation, and tell us what it's about?
So IncludEducation started about 5 years ago. And it came out of a need for alternatives in education.
Right.
For me, I got involved in education actually at a later age. I wasn't 40 until I started looking at that as a career, change for me. Before that is always sales and management. But I saw from my own kids and my own experience in school that something was just lacking.
Right. Right.
I was one of those who was really good at school, but I hated it. I didn't want to be there any place but. And for my own kids, they struggled and had a problem, had various problems there. And in the end, they couldn't keep us engaged.
Right.
So I wanted to do something that was going to make a difference in education, originally thinking I was going to do that within the school system. My sister, who's a teacher, told me I was quite foolish for even thinking that.
Yes, your sister is correct.
Yeah. So she said, you're going to hate it. And I was like, why? She said, because they're never going to let you do what you want to do.
Exactly.
And so eventually I pivoted that. And once I had some exposure into a whole different world that I didn't even know existed before that, and that was getting into some homeschooling type classes,
right,
and teaching some STEM classes with them to see the difference that there was in the homeschool students versus the perception I had based on, inaccurate myths about homeschooling.
Yeah.
And then comparing it to the regular, traditional school kids that I was interacting with, it was a night and day difference.
Yeah. It was like, night and day.
It was so different because these are kids, regardless of their age, they were taking more responsibility for their own education, seeking out learning opportunities and stuff, and what interested them.
Right.
So from there, I took that. I just said, I'm all in.
Yeah.
From there, purchased a whole bunch of equipment, started developing curriculum and presentation styles and stuff. And then since then, now we're
on a journey.
Yeah, all over Southern California with thousands of students, and with the goal of having a positive impact on as many families and children as possible.
Right. I am personally very pro homeschool, very, very pro homeschool, and started homeschooling myself in 2010. And so I can totally relate to what you're talking about, because the one thing that I know is that public school has taken so much out of their curriculum, and that they're like focused solely on core subjects. And a lot of it isn't even truthful information. But the kids don't have that, like the home economics and the wood shop and the auto mechanics and all of the fun, the drama and the choir and all. They don't provide a lot of that anymore.
All the stuff that made school fun.
Yeah,
and made you look forward to
now
being
it's
there.
like everybody is supposed to be just bookworms. And not every child is wired that way. And so having this available to students is just, there's the value is so high you can't even put a dollar sign on it, because you can't get it everywhere.
Right. Well, so much of schooling, I mean, not much has changed, unfortunately, from when I was in school or when you were in school.
Right.
And so much of it's based on memorization.
Right.
And I'll use the periodic table as an example.
Right.
We all had to memorize the periodic table.
Right.
But do you know the periodic table now?
I know one, H2O.
Right, exactly. We don't know
That's
it.
it.
But if we need to know it, what do? We pick
Google
up
it.
We pick up our phone and we
You
look it up on
Google
Google.
it.
So much of that we have and all these kids are, if they don't already, are going to have access to a phone, has access to the internet. All of the information in the world is available to them at their fingertips.
Right.
What we need to be focused on is not making them memorize these facts and stuff that they really don't need to memorize. We need to teach them how to use that information.
Absolutely.
Where to seek it out, how to find out where to go, but also look at it with a critical eye. What's the source of this information? Is there a motive behind providing? Is there an agenda behind providing it? Seek out the alternatives to that information, the opposite side, so that then they can think about what about this information is accurate, what is useful.
Right.
So not teaching them what to think, but how to be critical thinkers in looking up this information, encourage them to be active participants in their learning, actively seeking out information, but also the right information.
Right, right. And so with your other business, your wrestling business, what sparked your interest in getting that started, and how long have you been doing that?
So it's kind of an interesting story, because a lot of people say, well, wrestling, that's not at all related to the education side of it. But in my mind, it's more closely related than what most people may realize. Well, what originally sparked my interest in it is that there is a lack of family-friendly entertainment options. For families to go where they know the kids can be there, get excited about being there, the whole family can enjoy it, and that it's also kid appropriate. So that was one thing. Wrestling as the vehicle for that came about because that was the one thing growing up that my dad and I connected with. So,
Okay.
And maybe the only thing that
So
we
it's kind of a
connected with.
handed down kind of thing.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I remember sitting there, as a little kid with my dad, and he was an avid wrestling fan, like hardcore wrestling fan. He was watching everything he could on TV, channels permitting at the time, of course. But like that, all that old school wrestling. So we watched it together, and he would tell me the backstories on the wrestlers and stuff, and the storylines.
Funny.
I learned so much about wrestling from him. People that I didn't even see you couldn't even see on TV anymore. They had been too old or retired.
Right.
He was bringing them to life for me, and I couldn't even see them. So having those backstories on those wrestlers I was seeing on TV and stuff, I became an avid wrestling fan. And interestingly enough, we all know at this day and age, wrestling it's a scripted activity.
Absolutely.
It is a sport, but it's not something you can bet on, because the outcomes are predetermined.
Right.
But it's still an interesting story. You have interesting stories, and like I said, it is a sport.
Right.
I picked up on this at a very, very early age. I could kind of see into it. I got it.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't. There were times where he would be talking about something. I'd look at him like, and I didn't say it, but I'm looking at him like, you're not seeing what's going on here. It didn't take away the enjoyment for me. Actually, it added to it. Right. Because I saw what they were doing. I saw how they would get people emotionally involved in the match.
Right.
That this wasn't they weren't really fighting. They were cooperating to put on an amazing performance, an amazing show. And that really attracted me to it. So as I, now at this stage in my life, able to do something, I want to provide some entertainment options for the kids, families in the community.
Right.
Wrestling seemed like a natural choice. And over time, as the Mr. James character gained in popularity and reach, actually started to get to know some professional wrestlers and other promoters.
That's amazing.
And so just ended up developing the connections that was able to put that all together.
Yeah.
So the opportunity arose, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. This is going to be fun. And so far, it has been amazing. We're 3 shows in now, 3 completed shows. We got our 4th one coming up on June 12th now.
I was going to ask you if you had any current events that were coming up.
Yes, so we have that one coming. It's actually going to be at Epic Rollertainment, so the skating rink in Murrieta.
Where is that?
It's right off the 215 and Los Alamos Road in Murrieta.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
a beautiful facility. The lighting and the sound equipment in there is absolutely astounding. And they're so welcoming. Of course, they got food and drink there too.
Of
So it makes it
course,
a
yes.
really good venue for us. So we're able to help make the show look amazing. And of course, we have, of course, I'm biased, but I think we have some of the best talent out there. We got such amazing local talent, but we are reaching out to other areas to bring them in. We have, currently we have Brian Kendrick from WWE fame.
Wow.
On our roster. And he's been at our events. We had for our first show, we had Fuego del Sol from AEW.
Wow.
On. Did an amazing performance.
Let's do some
there.
name dropping.
Yes, we are looking at bringing others in. So we're in talks with a few for some. I don't want to do too much
Don't
name
spoil
dropping.
it. No spoiler
I don't want to
alerts.
do too many spoilers because some of it is a surprise. But we have some really cool things planned for Halloween.
Very cool.
And for Christmas shows too. So
Christmas. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
we've got some
So we're
fun
gonna have
things planned.
Santa wrestling, right?
I'm not going to give anything away, but I think it's safe to say the big man may make an appearance.
Very
at
cool.
least.
Very cool.
But we're looking also to do some community outreach on some of these shows too. So,
Right.
with using the Christmas show in particular,
Right.
Partnering up with Toys for Tots and getting that organized as well, and kind of how can we partner with them to, benefit beyond just our attendees,
Right.
but the community at large.
Right. So with the school, are you guys still in session or are you out for the summer? And if you're out for the summer, when do you go back in?
So it depends on the location. So
Okay.
we're at so many different campuses.
How many
now.
campuses do you have?
Oh goodness, we're in double digits for as far as regular,
Really?
ongoing programs. Now, if we have standalone programs that will go for a short period of time, that adds to that count. But
Right.
we're double digits as far as in Southern California, Orange, San Diego, and Riverside counties. And these is just counting homeschooling type campuses where
Right.
we go and we offer classes on a semester basis.
Okay.
So we have several, many different campuses. So some of them have already ended for the semester. Here we are, mid to late May.
Mm-hmm.
Some are still going on until beginning of June,
Okay.
and then they'll be letting out. Then we're on summer break. During the summer, that's when we ramp up our summer camps, and we have a few different locations for that. We've got summer camps in Murrieta at Epic Rollertainment as well. They're hosting us there.
Oh, awesome.
For some summer camps. We are also in Temecula and in Carlsbad.
Oh.
So we have camps in those locations as well. So a great way for people to come and dip their toe in and give us a try.
How fun is that?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So with both of these companies, kind of separate them a little bit, but with both of these companies, where do you see these businesses in like 5 to 10 years? Where would you like them to be in like 5 to 10 years?
Well, I'll focus on the education first. So with IncludEducation, what I would like to see with that is an expansion of our where the campuses we run ourselves. We call them EEE campuses, where we're more in control of that campus. Others, we're one of the many vendors that are there. So,
Okay.
Same thing with our campus, except we're kind of directing it as well.
Right.
So I'd like to see an expansion of those locations while also picking up more homeschooling type campus locations. I'd like to see us expand our reach even further into Orange County. Right now, we're very South Orange County. We'll be in Laguna Niguel and Anaheim Hills for next
okay.
semester. Oh, and Huntington Beach.
Really?
Yes. So I'd like to see us pick up some more in between. There's
You going to offer surfing classes?
I don't know about surfing classes, but we certainly have a lot to offer. I mean,
Right.
The types of classes we offer is everything from robotics, video game design, 3D printing, hands-on science and engineering, and much, much more. So we offer so many different options within there. Coding and programming, digital design.
So your school doesn't do the core subjects. It only does the alternative stuff.
Correct.
What
So-
we would refer to as electives.
Right. We call them
Okay.
enrichment programs.
Okay.
We refer to them as. So that's what our main focus is.
Okay.
Although we do partner with other providers who offer more core options as well. So we try to partner with other providers with a similar mindset in that they're trying to do something good for the community, operate ethically and morally,
Right.
and providing good options. So the quality has to be there as well. So we partner with other vendors that offer art classes, amazing art classes, drama classes, fun and immersive drama classes for that too, where they provide those, but we partner with them, because they do what they do best.
Right.
Other ones that offer archery even.
Oh.
And then a new one that just came that we're just partnering with now offers the most amazing reading classes with a specialty in children with either dyslexia or dysgraphia, and they're able to, like, she's amazing. She does amazing work with them where they're amazed at what they're able to accomplish with reading. So
That's huge.
It is.
There are so many kids out there that are in the public school system that don't get the proper support. They have the IEP, they have the 504, they have all those governmental labels placed on them, and they're supposed to be getting all these specialty treatments and resources and stuff, and they don't. And so to have that available through your school is huge.
Well, and that's
huge.
That's one of the things that actually it motivated me to do this. My two oldest sons, my oldest is on the spectrum.
Okay.
And my second son, he has ADHD, and they had IEPs.
Yeah.
And the constant fight
Yeah.
with the schools
Yeah.
and with the teachers to get them to follow even the simplest little thing in that document,
Yeah.
which is a legal document.
Yeah.
It's in that document. They must follow it. It's not
Right.
pick and choose what you want to do. No, if it's in there, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas parents will come to us and say, "Hey, we've got an IEP. Will you guys honor the IEP?" And I'm like, "I don't even need to see your IEP. You just tell me what we
you
need to
need,
do
yeah.
to best help your
Yeah.
child, and we will do our very best to accommodate that and
Right.
help them." As far as I'm concerned, well, every child's an individual, and
Right.
IEP, that's an individualized education plan. Why does not every child have an IEP?
Whether they are struggling or not, they all need to have a plan.
They do, because
Yeah.
some of them may be advanced.
Right.
Well, they need an individual education plan as well.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't be getting the same thing. Children are not cookies.
No.
So you cannot use a cookie cutter
No.
to make children.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, they all need their.
we could go on and on and on and on and on about that because I'm
Absolutely,
right there with you. Now, with the wrestling, where do you want to see that within 5 to 10 years?
For that, right now we're running our shows every other month.
Okay.
So the immediate goal is to get us to where we're once a month. Uh-huh. And ultimately, we're looking to find a space. So if
Okay.
we find the right space, physical location where we can set up shop in that space, we really want a place where we can have the wrestling ring there set up full time.
Oh, okay.
And because we want to run a wrestling school.
Are you going to try and combine that with your education program?
A bit. We can offer some classes for kids. It'd be basically some tumbling classes within the wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's concerns. We want to make sure we're being safe with the kids.
Right.
But there's ways we can do that to ensure their safety while they're also having fun. Again,
Right.
Offering a physical education option that they're looking forward to doing.
Yes,
that
exactly.
they're excited about
Yeah.
being there. So
Yeah.
if we can do that, but having that physical location is going to be an important part of that.
Right.
Ultimately, what I'd like to see over time within the next few years is to have that location where we have it all dressed up, where it looks really nice, make it into a studio type area, sound system installed, lighting, so on, and video equipment. I would love for us to get to the point where we're actually doing weekly TV tapings.
That would be so cool.
Get the TV audience in there. We can even sell season tickets for seating.
Yeah.
They pick their seat. They bought that seat for the season, and coming in a regular audience where we can
That would
actually.
be so cool. So are you currently looking for a location? And if so, what areas are you looking for?
We are looking. So semi-aggressive on looking for something. We want to make sure it's the right fit before
Yeah.
we move into something
Yeah.
like that. But the location, we really want to keep it in South Riverside County. So,
Okay.
Temecula, Murrieta area, Wildomar. That's kind of where we're wanting to base
Where
it
your
out
focus is?
of. Yeah, mainly because it's going to be close to where my IncludEducation offices are as well.
Right.
So allows me to oversee both businesses more easily.
Right, right. That's cool. That's so cool. So, with both businesses, what do you feel your struggles have been and your strengths have been with both businesses?
I think the strengths have been on presentation, actually executing the product. With the education business, our delivery with our with the education subjects is top notch. Like the students are engaged, they love the programs, they love the instructors,
Right.
Because a lot of it, so much of it's just presentation,
Right.
You got to keep the kids engaged,
Right.
You get the wrong instructor in there, they can take the most exciting subject and make
Go
it
all
boring.
bad real fast.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
want to make sure we get the right instructors in there that are passionate about what they're teaching, and they can communicate that passion to the children. So in that area, is a good strength, and that's actually where we're at with the wrestling as well. The action once at the show is fantastic. The struggle with both is getting the word out. Especially with the wrestling business, that's marketing. That's the biggest struggle, is getting the word out, and getting those ticket sales, getting people excited about what's coming up. But we're working on that, and that's actually, we're seeing a lot of improvement there. With the education side of it, and with IncludEducation, our biggest struggles are more on the administrative side of it, because
Okay.
it's a very unique business, especially dealing with so many different charter schools, and they all have different ways of doing things. So even invoicing, this is an example, is so nuanced and specific for each one. It's very difficult to train somebody how to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So even using an outside service, having a bookkeeper look at it, and they're like,
Right.
oh, well, yeah, I can't take that on, because
Right.
it's not, again, it's not a cookie cutter type of thing.
Exactly.
Where you can just plug it in and it's all automated.
Right.
It's very specific. So it's one of those things where it's hard to find the right people on the administrative side. And to be able to explain it to them in a way that makes sense. Like,
Right.
I've got it all in my head, but
Right.
to get somebody
Yeah.
else to do it and duplicate it
Yeah, totally. No.
is a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. No. So I recently saw a flyer, I believe, that said that you were gearing up to do a job fair.
We are. Yes. So
Tell us about that.
So we're doing a job fair that's on June 14th, I think. We're doing this on, and the goal with that is to find some more instructors. We need some more instructional staff. We are growing, so we have more locations coming up in the fall, more classes, more offerings, and so we need to expand on our staff.
And so do these individuals, do they have to have special licenses, or do they already have to be trained? Are you training? What exactly are you looking for?
So
with regard?
that's a great question. So they don't need to have any specific type of license for it. Now, obviously, they're all going to have to pass a background check.
Obviously,
we
yeah.
live scan with the Department of Justice and the FBI. We make sure all of our instructors are safe to be with children.
Okay.
People are entrusting the safety of their children with us, and we take that very, very seriously.
As you should.
So that's the first thing. Everybody has to be able to pass that background check,
Okay.
spot free.
Okay.
And beyond that, we do the training. Now, we prefer to have people who have experience working with children in some capacity, but it doesn't have to be necessarily in a formal setting. And they don't necessarily have to have experience with the STEM field. It's going to be difficult to find anybody who is looking for part-time work who has experience with robotics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality.
Right.
But we can train you on that.
Right.
What I can't train someone is how to have a personality.
Right.
So what I'm looking for is people with dynamic personalities who are able to communicate their passion to children and get them engaged and can be excited. They're not afraid to be silly, make faces, be self-deprecating, but also encouraging.
Right.
And that's the goal.
Right.
I can train them how to make video games, and I can train them how to teach how to make video games, but I can't teach them how to be alive in the classroom.
Have their own persona.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Because
Right.
that's huge. That's how you engage the kids, is you have to have that kind of upbeat persona to be able to have the kids go, oh, I want to do this, and make it all exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I always tell my new instructors and reinforce to my my more seasoned instructors as well
Right.
that and it sounds weird when I say it, but on the last day of class, our goal is that there are tiers, because there are kids that are they're terribly sad that there's not another class next week.
Yeah.
Because the
yeah.
semester's
They don't
over.
want to leave.
They don't want to go.
Yeah.
They want to be there. They're looking forward to coming back, and so
Right.
they're crying because they're not coming back.
Yeah.
If they have that kind of reaction, we're doing something right.
Absolutely.
Because that's where they wanted to be, and they have an emotional attachment to the experience, a positive emotional attachment to learning.
Yeah.
And now they're going to take that into the subjects that maybe aren't as fun.
Yeah.
that they don't look forward to. Well, they can take that that emotional attachment to learning in with that class as well.
And maybe roll it over into those core subjects that, I don't like to do math. Well, but you have to have math to do robotics, or you have to have math to do this science project, or, you're going to bake a cake and you have to know how much a quarter of a cup is. So that kind of goes hand in hand. And if they're in drama, they have to know English. If they're in writing, reading, they have to know how to spell. So have the core subjects kind of intertwine with all the alternative subjects, and engaging them and keeping them engaged and watching those light bulbs go off.
Yes.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
That's huge. So if somebody wanted to enroll their child, say, in your school, or they were interested in connecting to you with regards to the wrestling thing, what is the contact information for both of those?
Easiest way is just to go to those websites. So for Include Education, it is IncludEducation.com. And I always point out the spelling on that one. It is both words, include and education, together with only one E in the middle.
Okay.
So IncludEducation, one word, .com. And it'll have our contact information there. But also they can go onto the various links there and check out the different locations that we offer classes at and see what works best for them. For the wrestling, again, it's going to be right through the website, valley-wrestling-connection.com. They can see the information for upcoming shows. And if anybody would like to sponsor any programs, that's a great opportunity as well for other businesses. With the wrestling, that's pretty much, everybody can envision what that means there. They're a sponsor, their logo gets put on our flyers, they get mentioned when we make highlight reels after the events. We include their company information in with that, and we even have packages where we can make a short commercial for them.
Wow.
Insert that as well.
That's huge.
For Include Education, companies can actually sponsor STEM programs for children that may not have the financial means to normally attend the programs.
Oh, okay.
And we can actually bring those to those schools.
Right.
So if it's a school in a financially disadvantaged community where those schools may not have the funding to provide those STEM programs, we can get a sponsor to come in, sponsor that program, and offer full scholarships to students at some of those schools. So if there's companies that would like to really put that, and we advertise that big time. So if there's a sponsor in there, we want everyone to know, that whole community is going to know that that company sponsored this program, and really that company is a hero for these kids.
Right.
For the kids who get to do this. Like I said, it may be something that they don't get to do, but it's important for, under normal circumstances, but it's important for those kids to see that they are just as capable of being able to pursue a career in
robotics,
programming, any of those things, and being an engineer or a scientist, where they may not otherwise see that. So giving them exposure to that can get them excited, and they can see beyond the school they're at currently and where they can potentially go. That's what we want to do, is inspire them to, again, get that emotional attachment to learning and where they could be in the future. So any companies that want to sponsor that, you're going to be a hero to these kids, and we're going to let the world know it.
Here you go, everybody. Here's your opportunity for advertising. Let's get some marketing done for these people. All right, that's all the questions I have. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to this that I may not have asked?
I don't think anything about that. I just encourage people, make sure you check out the programs. We do have lots of summer camps available. And we'd love to see as many kids there as possible. Sibling discounts and multi-camp discounts. If you enroll in more than one summer camp or enroll multiple students, there is an automatic discount that gets built in.
And so last question, I forgot, there is one more. How did you hear about IE Stakeholders Association, and how did you get connected with them?
I was actually very fortunate enough to have my office right next door. I had one of my instructors saying, yes, so we met the neighbor. You've got to meet her. Of course, that being you. And so, eventually we made that connection. And I've got to say, I saw the value right away and the benefit to the community.
Thank you.
I think, to me, it's a very similar type of, vision, in that it's, what can we do to benefit the community? Obviously, IE Stakeholders is focused more on helping businesses, even young entrepreneurs, to grow their businesses and
Right.
get the assistance they need. But mine may be focused more on children's stuff, but that there's quite a bit of alignment there, and I'm all about anything we can do to help the community. That's what it's about in this stage of my life. So,
Yes,
definitely was a good fit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. James. And by the way, his moniker is Mr. James Does It All. And I have seen most. I will tell you that. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad you were able to take some time to be with us. If anybody listening would like some more information with regards to IE Stakeholders Association or the two businesses that Mr. James Does It All operates, his education program as well as his wrestling program, you can reach out to us at IE Stakeholders 2022 at yahoo.com, or you can call us at 951-309-6601. Thank you again so much, James. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
And we will definitely be updating in about 6 months. We'll have you back in about 6 months and see where you're at that time.
Oh, I'd love to be here.
Awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. That's it. Have a great day.